And you can watch us. We are on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. You'll see I have a bunch of ladies in the studio with me today, which makes me super happy. They're here to talk about a great program that is helping bring much needed reading and math tutors into our schools, and I think we can all get behind that. Joining us is Miss Karla Edwars. She is the director of Mississippi Reading Corps and Math Corps. Miss Ann Smith, she is also one of the tutors at Dawson Elementary School, as well as Miss Bettye Daniel. She is a math tutor at one of the elementary schools, or at Dawson Elementary School. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here. So happy that we have this program. Karla, you reached back out and you said, well, you first came to Good Things asking for tutors back in what year?
It's been 2 years ago, 2021.
2021. So we're in our third year of recruiting tutors. So it's working, it's going, it's growing.
It's going well. We're so excited. So we've been here last year. We expanded to another school district in Hattiesburg Public Schools. And so we had about 50 tutors last year. And this year we're going to be expanding to 3 more. And so we are looking for great people with a passion to serve to join us.
Okay, so explain to us if their memory faded over 2 years. Tell us kind of like what the program is, why it got sort of set up, and then how it kind of works.
Awesome. We are the largest Americorp tutoring program in the country. So Americorp is the federal agency for national service and volunteerism, and we are under a national nonprofit called AMPAC, and we serve 16 states and Washington, D.C., and we have passionate people become tutors. They sign up for a term of service, and they either tutor in reading, which serves kindergarten through 3rd grade, or math, that serves 4th through 8th grade.
And they serve it for a whole school year?
A whole school year. They're seeing students during the day, and it's what we call high dosage tutoring, so that extra skill building practice every single day or 3 to 5 days a week helps bridge the gap of what they're learning in the classroom.
And how are the students chosen for who gets tutors? Because I know there's not a tutor for every student.
There's not a tutor for every student, so our schools select those with the most need. We provide those service to those who are on the bubble and just need that extra boost.
So, Miss Ann, you are a reading corps volunteer or tutor.
Yes.
God bless you. Let me just say, having 2 young girls that sort of have come up and sort of learned reading, that can be a very frustrating and very rewarding at the same time thing to get to teach. So, how did you get involved with the tutoring?
Well, I retired from Allstate Insurance, sitting around doing nothing. So I was looking for a way to become involved in the community, to be a part of that village that our kids so much need. And I saw Karla on the local news station and realized that that was my answer to what I had been seeking. So I applied, went through the interview process, and got selected. And I don't regret it at all.
And so what's it like for you on a daily basis as tutoring when you go in? Do you know what you need to, well, I guess you're teaching them to read, but are you helping them on their individual levels? Or are you just reading books to them? How does the tutoring go?
Americorp provides the materials that we use. They give us a script that we go by. They provide all the materials. And I select the materials based on the skill level of that child. And we practice and go over it every day. I see them for 20 minutes, 5 days a week.
Now, Miss Bettye, you're a math tutor. I almost say, whoo, hats off to you. both reading and math. And I get now why Americorp is looking at those 2 individual subjects, because they can be the hardest or the trickiest for some students. So, Miss Bettye, how did you find your way to being a tutor?
I was looking for something part-time. I had been working in grant writing and really high-level stuff. I got tired of the same thing, wanted to do something different. And I found out I was looking at some emails, and I saw it pop up on an email that I had. And I applied, and here I am. I wanted to be a reading tutor, not in math, because I'd been out of school for 100 years. And there was no way I was going to go to math, but Karla is a very persuasive person.
Is 1 + 1 still 2?
It is. It is, but sometimes you forget how to teach someone else that 1 + 1 is 2.
I totally agree.
It's a process.
It's a process because what grades are you teaching, Miss Bettye?
I'm with 4th and 5th graders.
4th and 5th graders. So that can get some intense math. I can see how Miss Karla was kind of like, okay, but rose to the challenge. And do you feel, obviously now feel confident in the math that you're teaching?
Again, just as with the Reading Corps, Americorp provides you with a curriculum and with a script, an evidence-based script that they want you to follow, and I follow that to the letter. And
then it's obviously working, Karla. Like these and anybody knows that. Anybody knows that students who just need a little extra when they get it, then they're able to feel more confident and have the ability to then take their exams and work. But we know that. But what is the numbers telling us? What are the schools telling us by having these tutors in there over the last 2 years? What kind of benefits are they providing?
So last year we were able to serve over almost 1,000 students, and we provided well over 40,000 tutoring sessions. And so in our Reading Corps program, students who received tutoring from us exceeded their target growth by about 75% of them exceeded target growth. And with Math Corps, 44% of them exceeded their target growth. So that consistency is key, and we see that growth and that confidence when they receive tutoring from our wonderful tutors here.
Mm-hmm. How many tutors are there total now, Ms. Karla?
We have about 50 tutors now, and so we're growing. So our goal is to have 75 tutors placed, and we're almost there. We're here just to get a few more in, starting for January.
You need 25 more to be specific.
Yes.
That's what you were hoping for. And what areas specifically are those tutors needed for?
Okay, so we need some assistance in Jefferson County, our Jefferson County Middle School for math. So that's 6th through 8th grade. And then we have a couple of more Reading Corps positions in Jackson Public Schools. So that's K through 3.
And what is like the time requirement, or not requirement, I guess, ask of your tutors? I know Miss Ann said she goes every day. Is it kind of up to the tutor, or are there specific times that they have to be there?
There are specific times we have to be there. So for January 15th start, we're looking for 25-hour positions and 18-hour people. So 18 hours, if you come 18 hours, you can do 3 to 5 days a week. 25 is 5 hours a day, 5 days a week.
How many students do you see in that 5 hours?
How many students? So for our 25-hour tutors who are Reading Corps, they can see anywhere from 10 to 20 if they're servicing in pairs. With Math Corps, they see between 12 and 18. They have groups of 2 to 3.
Does those days go by fast, Miss Ann?
They do. I see them 20 minutes a day for 5 days a week. And before we know it, the 20 minutes is up, and they're not ready to leave yet. Can we stay a little bit longer? But it goes by really fast. But like Bettye said, we have a curriculum. We just choose. We have the flexibility, I do, to choose which passages they read or what letter sounds they want to we're going to use for that day. So I have my day based already in place before I start seeing them every day.
Are the tutors with the same students for the whole school year, or does it shift if, say, the students kind of pick up or gain speed? Then do you bring in new kids, if that makes sense?
Yes, it all depends. Many of our students, because our tutors are so great, they're consistent, they exit the program, and we can serve more students during the year.
So it's not that. So it sounds like it's a very individual approach to what the school may specifically need in terms of students, and then what the student may need, and then being able to, I guess, be flexible.
Yes, it's a good partnership we have.
It's a very good partnership that you have, but it's not successful if folks aren't registering to be tutors. And that's what we're here today, not only to educate you on the great work that they're doing through Americorp with their reading and their math tutors, but then also to encourage you if this is something that you would be interested in. I love how both Miss Ann and Miss Bettye both sort of heard it through media airways or through different ways and thought, you know what, that may be the connection that I'm missing or sort of needing, I want to sort of apply. And so we want you to do that because today is the deadline, correct?
Today is the deadline. I believe it closes midnight tonight. So you can go to join.readingandmath.org. That's join.readingandmath.org and select Mississippi and see the positions we have available.
All righty, we got more with these ladies coming up next. We're also streaming from your SuperTalk Mississippi app. Of course, you can always find us too on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And don't forget, you can watch us. We are on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. We're continuing our wonderful conversation with all the Americorp tutors and the director for Mississippi Reading Corps and Math Corps here in Mississippi, Miss Karla Edwars. And this is the third year, and so it's growing. And so if you weren't listening, we need 25 more tutors. We're just going to put it out there. We need 25 more of you. And we've got two of them in the studio with us, Miss Ann and Miss Bettye. Both of them are teaching at Dawson Elementary School. Miss Ann reading, Miss Bettye math. And yeah, you're teaching reading and math, Miss Ann, but it's more than that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what is it to you beyond just bridging the gap in terms of education for these kids?
Well, to me, it's building a relationship with them. Not only with the kids, but with the staff, the teachers, the whole school, even the custodian. And so if you have that relationship with the kids, like we were talking earlier, they might be disruptive in class, but when they come to us, they are interested in learning. Sometimes we have to step away from the script that we're doing for a minute because they might be dealing with something. And because they trust us and because we have a relationship, we can encourage them in that way and then get them back to the curriculum that we're on for that particular day.
You don't have to be retirement age, right, Karla, to be a tutor, but both Miss Ann and Miss Bettye, you guys are. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh my gosh, like if I was an elementary kid and coming in to hang out with you guys for math and reading, I would want you to be my honorary granny. Like I would like legit would be like, you can't have too many in that way. Do you find, Miss Bettye, that some of your students look to you and Miss Ann and the other tutors as just extended family maybe family is not the right way, but just to feel that role of a mature or relationship?
I think the fact that we are mature in age and both of us have we are gray haired, they do look to us as a mature person to come to. But Miss Annie has a great story that I love about a young boy who came to her and asked her to be his honorary grandmother.
Please do. Yes.
He is a first grader. And so we were sitting there one day and we were going through our lesson for that day. And he looked at me and he said, would you be my grandmother? And I serve pairs, so there's another student. He said, but you have a grandmother. He said, but I don't have a school grandmother, so would you be my grandmother? And I said, of course. And since then, I didn't tell you, there's a couple of other, and these are boys, that want me to be their grandmother. And they tell everybody, this is my school grandmother.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, Rhino's my work husband. So, I get it. You just develop these relationships with these people, but then also you're filling the gap for education, but then also too, you never know what they need in their, sort of in their heart or sort of, what that does for you. And Miss Bettye, you were sharing that some of the students that wind up in the tutoring track for you guys, particularly in math, they may have been labeled as disruptive or maybe, not the good kid in class or whatever it may be, but you find once they get to you that it's really what's really the problem.
I think probably part of the problem is that they need the individualized attention. Many times, a teacher has a class of 20, 25 students. That's a lot of children to work with one-on-one. And so that child that's behind is so accustomed to being behind that when they come to us and come to me and they see that there's somebody who first of all, is going to be working with them one-on-one, who's looking them in the eye, who's smiling at them, and who's telling them, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. The other thing is we hold them accountable for their behavior. We have some expectations when they come in the classroom, and the thing that we want them to do is to focus on their work. Failure is not an option when you come to us. You're going to keep trying until you get it right. And we have to remind them of that from time to time. And it really, really works because you're there with them. And they can feel, children know when you really, really care about them. They can tell that I care, and because we care, they try to do their best. They don't always start off that way, but can I share a story?
Absolutely,
Yesterday, one little fella came to me, and we were working on whole number place value computation. So I gave him what we call a stop and check, and that's kind of a mini test to see where they are on it. He looked at it and he said, I can't do this. And I said, yes, you can. So I reminded him of what he knew. He went through and we had 12 questions. He got them all correct. And you should have seen his face light up. He wanted me to draw my happy face on it, put 100% on it, and he wanted to take it home to his mom. That was just thrilling.
And that's, and that's what you have as an opportunity to be a tutor. And it's also what happens when we just stop, we slow down, and we sort of help students one-on-one. And I get, Karla, it's not anything against like the school system. I understand there's one teacher to so many, and that's not. But you have these opportunities now to fill these gaps if you feel led to it. And so you don't have to have the background of being a prior teacher. I don't think Miss Ann or Miss Bettye, neither are prior teachers. So what does make for a good tutor? What are the characteristics for a good one for Americorp?
You just have to have a heart of service. The tutors, as Annie said before, if you're in it for a lot of money, this is not the place to be. But you have to want to be able to make a difference. And so that's what we're looking for. There are wonderful perks and benefits and incentives to be a tutor, but you have to have that passion for wanting to see that student grow.
And Miss Ann, it even takes her stipend, which there is one. So it's not a volunteer thing. I mean, it's not a full-time paid job, but it's also not volunteer. Your time as a tutor is valued. But share what you're doing for your granddaughter, your actual granddaughter, your real one.
Well, this is my second year. So my first year's stipend I'm giving to my grandson. He's in the 8th grade right now. And this year's stipend I'm going to give to my granddaughter, and she's in the 6th grade right now. And Miss Bettye is doing the same thing.
So they receive a stipend of just up to $900, just depending if they're full-time or part-time. We're hiring part-time for January. And so if they successfully exit the program, they receive an education award. So that tutor has up to 7 years to use that. They can use it to prior student loans or to go back to school. Or if you start at the age of 55 or older, you can transfer that. So that's what Bettye Ann did. So they're transferring to a dependent so that person can use it, and they have up to 10 years to use that.
That's really cool. That's really cool for you guys to be able to do that and to teach your grandchildren the value of education, that they see that their grandmothers value it so much. Not only are they giving back to their community, but now they're buying into. And I can't ever remember the statistic, Miss Karla, but there's a good one out there that even as little as like $250 in the bank, a kid is exponentially more likely to go to school if they know there's money already sowed, like the seed's already been sown for them for their higher education. So just by doing that, it's already setting the stage for them to think, hey, that's obtainable. That's my next step. That's sort of where I should be going. But for a lot of these students right now, they're just trying to get out of elementary school. Let's be honest. And so you can be part of that. So round us back, Miss Karla. Where do we go if they want to sign up? You need 25 more.
Okay, you go to join.readingandmath.org and select Mississippi. That's join.readingandmath.org and choose Mississippi.
And you need Jackson tutors, but also where are the other locations?
So we're going to be in Jefferson County. We're looking in Vicksburg and Warren County, Yazoo City, Humphreys County, and Hattiesburg.
Okay, Miss Ann, what's your last sort of, I guess, not plea for those listening, but I feel like there's more Miss Ann's and Miss Betty's listening here on Good Things that's getting the warm and fuzzies like I am and feel like maybe this is something they could do. If they're nervous about it, what would you say?
I would just say don't be afraid. If you have a heart of passion, just go for it. Americorp doesn't leave you out there by yourself. There's training. There are people that will help you. And we are partnered with, say, a person that is in their 2nd or 3rd year. So there's always somebody available to answer questions, to help you through. There's coaches. Just go for it. If you have a heart for service, go for it.
What would you say, Miss Bettye?
I would say the same thing. Courage is not the lack of fear. You're going to have fear, but courage is being able to go ahead and do it in spite of your fear.
And then you never know what lasting impact you will have. And two, reminding us today, just taking that little extra time with either your own kids or your own grandkids can make all the difference in the world. And what a smiley face really means for somebody on a piece of paper. And if they bring it home, by God, put it on the refrigerator.
You better believe it.
That's where it needs to be immortalized, is on the refrigerator. All righty, Miss Karla, one last time, what's the website?
join.readingandmath.org.
All righty, Miss Ann and Miss Betty, you guys come back next year, okay?
Thank
or
you.
next season, whenever it is. And thank you for what y'all are doing in your communities. But you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.